screen? Perfect. So what we're going to talk about tonight is what can the TNOTA do for you? So we are kind of revamping our student involvement committee, and we haven't had a virtual chat in a while. So I thought this would be a good time to kind of go over some of the benefits of the TNOTA. Cindy Blackwell, who is our current president, and she is transitioning out of being the president, and Stephanie Lancaster will be the president next year, starting in January. She did this presentation or a version of it back in April, and then she did another one over the summer about volunteering, and I thought this information is great. It seems like most of us are new to this committee. So I thought that would be a good thing to share with your respective schools and programs, and just to kind of let you know a little bit more about what the TNOTA Association does. So here's our vision. So TNOTA is the primary resource authority and our public voice for our OT profession all across the state. They strive to advance occupational therapy in our state through education and advocacy, communication and legislation to help provide quality occupational therapy services and promote our profession to not only ourselves, but to consumers and stakeholders, as well as legislators in Tennessee. Some of the things that the TNOTA does to fulfill the mission is to provide professional support to the members, and they do this through communication and advocacy efforts and education. They help to represent us with our member requests and interests and concerns. It also helps to improve the quality of OT services in our state. We always want to work on that. It enhances consumer health and well-being through the promotion of best practices. I know in y'all's program, you hear about best practices all the time. And then looking at it holistically for our state, that's what the TNOTA does as well. And it helps to promote the benefits of our profession to fellow practitioners and consumers and the stakeholders. So it is the only organization in Tennessee that advocates for us OTPs, us OT practitioners, whether we're a student, whether we're a COTA, an OTR, any of those things. That's what the TNOTA does for us. So let's talk about the TNOTA versus the state board of OT. You might hear it called the health-related boards. Has anybody ever been on any of those websites or looked up any of the resources for the health related boards in the state of Tennessee? You will when you go to get your license, as well as when it comes time to renew. That's where you'll go, and it gives you a lot of information on how to maintain your licensure, as well as getting any specialty certifications. So a little bit more about the TNOTA. So we know that they represent our interests and concerns as us as practitioners, as well as our students, our educators, consumers, and stakeholders as well. It's all volunteer and it's member driven. So nobody gets paid. When I was listening to the meeting earlier this summer, when our president was speaking, she was mentioning that she spends about 20 hours a week doing services for the TNOTA. And I thought, wow, I'm so glad that we have her, and so thankful for her for sharing her time. I didn't realize what a large commitment that was, and what all the different offices did for our state. So it's related to the AOTA, or American Occupational Therapy Association, to help promote and advocate for our profession and to help overall productivity and quality of life. It's available to the members to serve as a resource and answer questions regarding best practice. One of my personal stories on why I chose to get a little bit more involved in the TNOTA, I've pretty much always been a member. I was our student representative when I attended the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. And I maintained my membership for a little bit. Then I I let it lax. I kind of dropped it for a little bit, and I picked it back up. And I got some specialty certifications, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep up with this. Then when it came time to the pandemic, I didn't know where to turn. So I was working in pediatrics in an outpatient clinic and in a school. Well, we were in shutdown. My husband is a PT, and we have our own clinic, and he does manual therapy, which is hands-on. So he definitely wasn't working. We were at our pediatric clinic that I was working at, we're exploring the option of telehealth. I didn't know, can we do it? Can we not? What are the laws? What are the rules? Where do I get resources? And the place that I went was our TNOTA. And they advocated for us to communicate with the governor to get permission to provide telehealth and to be able to bill for telehealth. So I was able to provide for my family by sitting at the computer and learning how to do telehealth with my clients, while my husband, who is a PT, could not go in because he can't do manual therapy through telehealth. So once that hit and we got through that, I was like, I am going to be a lifelong member of TNOTA. I will never let it lapse. I will always support the TNOTA. And I was very appreciative of the services that they provided. So let's look at the health-related boards. It might be called the State Board of OT or the Tennessee Board of Occupational Therapy, but it's the health-related boards. And so that's more for safeguarding the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans. It's not just for occupational therapy. There's a separate one for occupational therapy, but there are a lot of other people that fall under the state board. Dentistry, massage therapist, acupuncture, any kind of profession that you can think of like that. They have a license through the state of Tennessee. And on the board are OT and OTA members, as well as a member of the population that's considered a consumer. They meet 4 times a year, and the meetings are open to the public, and they publish their minutes on the board's website. So you can look at those, but the TNOTA has the representative that shares the information and attends the meetings. So again, that state board is for the protection of the consumers, and it's responsible for adopting rules pursuant to Tennessee legislature, granting, renewing, and reinstating our license to practice OT. So this is where you will get your state license from. And every state has different, their own respective boards and different requirements for those respective states. They give you guidelines and policies, and they also investigate complaints against OT practitioners and taking disciplinary action. So you have to be able to pass, a certain amount of things in order to get your license and to keep your license. If you have some kind of disciplinary complaint, you might have to go meet in front of the board, and they can approve you or not to either get your license or keep your license. This is a link with the frequently asked questions page about each of those two, and there's some contact information on there. So let's look a little bit about the membership types in the TNOTA. So for our therapists, for OTs and OTAs, they can attend and participate in all of the TNOTA meetings. They can vote for officers, changing the bylaws. They can hold an elected office or serve on committees when they're appointed. The student members can basically do the same thing. They can serve on committees when they are appointed. They get to vote. The honorary life members or retired members, they can attend meetings and serve on select committees when they're appointed. And then there's associates that are organizations and community partners that help kind of advocate for the organization. And then looking at them, so this is a membership over the last 3 years. You can see it's pretty constant. You can see the biggest number, look, it's students. So that's the biggest portion that we have of our TNOTA membership. My goal is to get 100% student membership, as well as to see OT practitioners keep their membership and see the value in it. So our membership remains stable, and it's, again, encouraging students to keep up with the membership, as you all are the future of our profession. They do discount the first year membership for new practitioners, OT and OTA. And something that's exciting that just got passed at our meeting, and this is something that I recommended, was that our elected student representatives from each of the colleges in the state of Tennessee, your membership fee will now be covered as of January. So they're still working out the kinks and the logistics to that, but that was something that I recommended, that we cover that fee for our state representatives. I think that that's a very worthwhile thing to do, because we're appreciative of the student reps, and that might make it easier too for students that might have a challenge paying, for an extra fee on top of everything else that they have to pay for. So here are the fees. If you're an OT, your membership is $80 a year, except for if you're a first year OTR, then it's $60. OT assistants are $60, except for if they're a first year assistant practitioner, they are $40. A retired practitioner is $40 a year, and the student membership is $20 a year. Now, this is like getting a bang for your buck kind of thing, kind of slide here. So if you are a member, you get free access to ethics and jurisprudence, which is a $40 value. You have to take ethics and jurisprudence every 2 years when you renew your state license through the state of Tennessee, through that health-related boards that we just talked about. You have to take 2 hours, one of ethics, one of jurisprudence, in order to maintain your Tennessee state license. That's $40. You get it by being a member. The other thing you have to do in the state of Tennessee is every 4 years, so every 2 cycles of renewing your license, is take a suicide prevention course. And this right now is for OTs only, not for COTAs, but I foresee in the future that that would be consistent for the COTAs as well. So if you think about that mathematically, you've already paid for your license for those 2, or for your membership in the TNOTA, if you are an OTR, by paying for those 2 $40 courses that you have to have anyway in order to keep up with your license. Some other things that you also get are free CEU courses, access to over 50 recorded courses, discounted CEU courses, including physical agent modalities, a discounted registration at the TNOTA state conference, all different kinds of benefits. The state conference, we were talking about this before everyone got logged in, helping to meet other practitioners, other community service types of events. On a side note, this is also something that you can put on your resume, especially if you have a leadership position. You can discuss this in an interview if you're interviewing for your first OT or COTA job, or if you're looking for a new job. This would be a great thing to mention, especially if you have some kind of leadership or committee participation. These are the districts of the TNOTA. You can see that there are 6 different districts, and each subsequent district has their own meeting. And then we have statewide meetings as well. These are some of the continuing educations that have been in the past. Some of them are free. Some of them are discounted if you are a member of TNOTA. TNOTA has partnered with Aspire. I don't know if you've had a chance to go on that website, but they host a lot of online continuing educations. And then they have a great database of pre-recorded continuing educations. but a lot of these are free. Some of them are not, but they are very minuscule in price as compared to some of your other providers. But those are some of the ones that they have had in the past. Some other workshops. The physical agent modalities are always very popular because people want to be certified in order to use the different modalities. So those are always really popular, as well as our ethics and jurisprudence, which, like I said, was required in order to maintain your license. Some of the other different things that the TNOTA has are different committees. There is a new OTA Connect committee that has just gotten a new leader and is really emerging, and it's focusing on collaboration between OTRs and COTAs. There's a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee, and they're very active. Our student involvement committee, will talk about that, and the mentorship committee in just a little bit. Our OT Foundation, advocacy, and some specialty groups such as mental health, pediatrics, hand therapy. We are trying to get one going for entrepreneurs, but it's just trying to get the time to find a leader and trying to find time to meet when all these people are running their own clinics or trying to open their own companies or things like that. So that is in the works. So looking at our own student involvement committee, our mission is to help advocate and support and facilitate the success of our students through a bunch of different initiatives and programs and presentations. It was originally established in 2019. I think we've had two other leaders, two other chairs besides myself. We are looking for more OT practitioners and COTA practitioners to join me in helping lead. So if you have somebody that you have an idea that they would be great as a co-chair, please send them my way. So the mentorship committee is something that is fairly new. It started in 2021, and it was previously part of our student involvement committee. And are you guys familiar with the mentorship committee? Have you heard anything about that? So this provides mentorship to either like new practitioners in a certain area or even students in their last year, and it pairs them with a more experienced practitioner in that area for 8 months. And they do, virtual meetings and mentorship. And it lasts for, like I said, for 8 months. Applications for the next cycle opens on January 1st of 2024, and it starts in February. And so if there's an area of specialized occupational therapy, be it like hand therapy or work hardening or pediatrics or something like that, especially if you're a student in your second year and you know what setting you want to work in, but it is highly specialized, they will try to find somebody that's more of an expert in that area and pair you with them for a professional mentorship. And you can also get CEUs for that too. So there's a win-win. There's also, for your practitioner that is helping you, they can get hours. You can get hours if you are a new graduate. Or even not a new graduate, somebody that's new to a certain specialty area, you can get hours if you go through, the certain requirements that they have for mentorship. You can get your CEU hours or a big chunk of them through doing a professional mentorship. And then the Tennessee Occupational Therapy Foundation helps to provide financial assistance to individuals and entities within the provision and the receipt of occupational therapy services in Tennessee. And there were 3 student scholarships in 2021 that totaled over $2,000. I haven't heard of latest numbers on that, but we will have to check that. And our communities of practice we mentioned some of those earlier. Peds, mental health, hands, neuro, the entrepreneurs. I tell you, personally, I have gotten a lot out of the pediatrics community of practice. We used to, but now it's quarterly. And I've gained so much from talking to fellow practitioners around the state and getting ideas and things. And these are virtual. You do these online, and they're very valuable. There's no cost for those types of things. And then if you have an idea of a specialty area, that would be something great to start if you have experience in a certain area of interest that you would like to lead it on. We also have a virtual job board on our website, which that's always fun to look at, being a student. We do a lot of advocacy and lobbying, and I mentioned to you about the telehealth initiative back during the pandemic and how important that was to me and my family personally, but there's all other types of health-related issues and lobbying and things that are behind the scenes that the TNOT helps advocate for us as professionals, and then as well as for our patients and clients and consumers. So Cindy put this in her slide. If not us, then who? So who else is going to support us as a practitioner? Helping advocate for ourselves, for our profession, for our clients in our state. Some upcoming opportunities that we have in our student involvement committee. We would like to resume the social media takeovers starting in 2024. And that's where a respective school, their occupational therapy program takes over social media, Facebook and Instagram. If they're doing something special, if they're doing something out in the community, or if they have launched some special project that they're doing at their school, then they can make sure videos or reels or anything like that, for 24 hours and take over the social media. There's an application for that on the student section of our TNOTA website. We are also looking for student volunteers to help with the state conference. The next one will be in September in Nashville. So they are already looking to start organizing that. So if that's something, especially if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, if that's something you think you would like to do. And then they are always open to ideas, whether you are a student or a seasoned practitioner. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And I do want to tell you some results of a survey that I had done a couple of months ago, where I asked some of you students about some topics of interest for our upcoming virtual chats. So let me just fill you in, and then we'll stop recording and then we'll talk about this. So 83% of people wanted a new practitioner Q&A session. So a question and answer session with new OTs that just graduated but are out there practicing. About a third wanted one on seating and mobility. 50% wanted OT's role in visual rehabilitation. About 50% for OT COTA collaboration. 57% licensing and CEUs. 32% for telehealth. 50% for entrepreneurship, 57% early intervention, 32% for nonprofit OT, and we got 100%. 100% wanted note and goal writing, and 100% wanted board exam prep. So y'all can think about that. I'm going to stop recording. Thanks everybody for watching this video.